Well, howdy there, folks. Crypto. Oh boy. Okay, we got to talk about crypto. It's interesting when it comes to me and it comes to crypto because I notice a lot of times people make very stark assumptions around my opinion of crypto, around if I have any money invested. I saw a comment a day or two ago. It said, Jeremy has no money invested in crypto. And I was like, oh, that's inaccurate, but all right. And so I was like, let me do a full video addressing my opinions on crypto, the whole category, okay? Let me tell you exactly what I have in money invested in. I actually have a much more substantial, let's call it investment in crypto than I think a lot of people assume. A lot of people think I have literally no money, and actually I have a lot of money. Everything's relative, obviously, but I have a lot of money invested in crypto. I'm going to take you through exactly the cryptos I own. And last thing we'll talk about is kind of my goals when it comes to crypto personally. Now, let's say Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin came on my radar. It was probably around, I'm talking about in a real way, around 2017. That's when Bitcoin first really came to my attention. I think I had heard about it a few times on CNBC or whatever in the past. They didn't really discuss it as like a real respectable thing. It was just kind of like, oh, a bunch of people made some money off this Bitcoin thing, right? But in terms of really coming on my radar, it was 2017. And at that time, I looked at Bitcoin and I was like, oh, I think that's, a very bubblicious thing necessarily at that time. There was, in terms of where Bitcoin was in 2017 versus today, definitely a lot more folks take it a lot more serious than during that time. During that time, it was a very niche thing. And now I can tell you, I think if you talk to most folks, they would know what Bitcoin is nowadays, right? And you see actually real transactions going through now for Bitcoin, at real businesses, right? Which is just a very different scenario than we had in 2017. And so then obviously Bitcoin peaked out right around here in December of 2017. And obviously then it went on a massive crash. Now, if we go back 5 years ago, I pulled up a 5-year chart here. 5 years ago, Bitcoin was a little over 1,000, right? And then it goes to around 20,000. It has this massive kind of drop there all the way down to 3,300 in 2019 lows, 2018, 2019 lows, right around 3,300. Then it climbs up and it has a great kind of run off that 3,300 level to summer of 2019, Bitcoin's back over 10K and it's like, woo, everything's going great. Then the Rona drop happens. And then, obviously we climb all the way to about 70K. Bitcoin peaked around 70K. On a 5-year chart, it only shows 65, but technically in the last 52 weeks, Bitcoin got really close to 70K. Obviously here today, 46. So first off here, and by the way, thank you FTX for being my official crypto partner. If you guys want to sign up for FTX and check that out, that will be pinned comment down there. No fixed fees when you buy crypto with FTX. So first off, my fees on crypto, or my opinion on crypto in general, this is a space that's just going to get bigger and bigger over the coming years. Whenever you've heard me ever talk, question crypto, it never comes from a standpoint of oh, I don't believe in it, or it's all a scam or something like that. Every single time Andrea and I ever, debate on Millennial Money about crypto, about Bitcoin, what do I always bring it back to? Valuation. Every single time. I never say, oh, I don't believe in crypto, or they're all going to zero. You never hear me talk like that. You watch every single episode we've ever done. Every single time I ever talk back and forth about Bitcoin, crypto in general, it's all about, well, why does it deserve this specific valuation? And so let's say Bitcoin's trading at $1 trillion, right? Why does Bitcoin deserve to trade at $1 trillion? And so if you look at real estate, you can give a really strong case on why a certain real estate property deserves to trade at a certain value, right? Because you can look at the comps in the area. You can say, well, if I got this for a rental, it would command me about this price, which is around the same as a mortgage. So you can start putting the numbers together. On a stock, you can look at something like a PE metric. You can also look at things like price to sales. You can look at forward P, but you could just look at the trailing 12-month PE and say, is it under a 20? Okay, if it's under a 20, it's more than likely undervalued unless the whole business is falling apart or something like that. And so when it comes to real estate and stocks, those are very developed spaces. So you can put a valuation on it and you can make that make sense. And this is why I'm paying this price. This is justified, right? When it comes to crypto, it's so early days there. It's still very hard to say, if Bitcoin should be worth $500 billion or $50 billion or $5 trillion. That's a really, really tough thing to say because it's so dang new and you can't really value it the same way you would value real estate. You can't value it the same way you'd value stocks. And so that's what makes this a very difficult thing. And so that's why I don't have a lot more invested in crypto than what I'm going to show you here today and share with you here today. But that's kind of my belief. Crypto is going to continue to get bigger. There's a lot of brilliant people around the world working on crypto projects. Some of the smartest people in the world are working on crypto projects. If you think crypto's not here to stay and you don't think crypto's going to get a lot bigger, I'm just saying you're sorely mistaken. It's going to be here. It's going to get bigger. There's going to be some vicious drops in there. There's going to be some insane rallies in there. But at the end of the day, the space in general will continue to find applications because when you put some of the most brilliant people in the world on a lot of these different crypto projects, they're going to build it in some amazing projects and do some things that you never even thought were possible, okay? Now, in terms of me, what I am invested in, and then we'll get to my goals as far as by the end of this year. So first off, I own 32,495 VGX coins, okay, which is a Voyager token, which is another brokerage out there. And so the way I look at that one is they're using it as kind of like, an ecosystem play. And all the rewards and all those sorts of things for folks that use that platform, you're very incentivized to get VGX coins there. And so my hypothesis in why I invested, and have bought 32,495 of those is I believe if that platform continues to have success over the next 5-10 years, that VGX coin is going to be, let's call it much more valuable in the future than it is today. Okay, and so that's why I bought obviously a lot of those, and you can do the math on that. What 32,495 VGX coins is as far as a dollar amount. It's a pretty good number. Let's just call it that. Okay, I know this is going to sound like a really small amount of money. I only have $550 invested in Bitcoin, okay? $550 as of today. I have a bigger goal for Bitcoin. Once again, when it comes to Bitcoin, it's always been about trying to figure out valuation. That's the hardest thing for me when it comes to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is honestly, at the end of the day, it's the digital gold. We can't deny that, right? It's the same view people have around physical gold. Especially my generation have that same view around Bitcoin as a digital gold, right? And a store of value. And so instead of holding, just money in a savings account, folks like to buy Bitcoin. And you can't deny that. In the Bitcoin community, the thing I've always appreciated about the Bitcoin community is those folks are really ride or die. They are really about the Bitcoin long-term story and how big it's going to get over time. And most of those folks aren't looking to trade in and trade out. And regardless whatever happens to price, a lot of those folks just aren't willing to sell. And I know so many people that own Bitcoin. And I got to say, every single person that I know that has a substantial position in Bitcoin, right? Let's call it a 6-figure or more position. None of those people care. If Bitcoin is valued at $10,000 tomorrow, $100,000 tomorrow, they're not selling. And so coming from the stock world, that's a shareholder base that I really darn appreciate. I got to say that. Those type of folks that are there for really the long term. Okay, so I definitely want to build Bitcoin into bigger. I'll share that in just a moment. I own 59,593 of a coin CKB, okay, Nervos Network. Now, I know almost nothing about this thing, okay? I put money in it as an experiment. I was like, let me just look at some of the smallest market cap, cryptos. And I was like, let me just throw money in it and just see what happens with this over time. And so literally it's just a complete gamble. I read the little bio thing about it and I was like, okay, that one. And let me just take a gamble in this one. So I did the same thing there that some people do in the stock market community where they have no clue about a stock or anything about it. And they're like, oh, let me see that. I'm going to buy that. Okay. It's a complete gamble. It's been going bad. I think I'm down 30% on that, but it's just a complete gamble, okay? Now, I also own $296 of Solana. I have no clue how I own $296 of Solana, okay? I don't know the first thing about Solana. I will probably do some research over the coming months when it comes to that one. Maybe it's the next best thing, the greatest thing since sliced bread. I have no clue how I own that. I did not personally buy that. I went in my VGX account one day and it was just there. And so I was like, oh, cool. I got $296 of Solana thing. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe FTX just gives you out some free coins. I don't know. I have no clue. But I literally went into my FTX account one day and there was just $296 of Solana there. So cool. Okay. I own one Dogecoin, not because I bought that Dogecoin, but because I bought some Bitcoin through FTX. And when you buy, I bought Bitcoin through FTX, I got a free coin essentially. And so my one free coin was Dogecoin, which I believe if anybody signs up with my pinned comment down there, I believe you also get a free coin when you buy something. So I wish it would have been better than Dogecoin. An Ethereum would have been nice, a Bitcoin would have been nice. I'm just saying, but hey, I'll take what I can get. So as far as goals, I only have 2 crypto-related goals by the end of 2022. One is I want to own 1 Bitcoin by the end of this year, just 1. Okay, I don't have goals or to hold more than that, just 1. And then I can say I own actually one of the 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be mined, and that will be that, okay? That's about all my goal there. And then as far as Ethereum goes, actually Ethereum I'm really a big believer in for 2 reasons, okay? The first is the gentleman that is in front of that project, he's one of those guys that it's just impossible, and I've spoke about this a few times in the past, it's impossible for me not to imagine him being one of the most influential people in the world when it comes to folks that are focused on building out something massive, okay? And so that's one reason. And if you watch a few interviews with that gentleman, it's like, it's something like a cross between Elon Musk and an alien and artificial intelligence program. When you listen to him talk, it's extraordinary, okay? So yeah, that's one reason. Second reason is you're actually seeing Ethereum in a lot of real world applications now, which I think is big. I think that's like big, because let's be honest, most of crypto space, 99%, has no real world applications today. So when you actually have something that people are either actually using for like real transactions now, or folks are using for things like NFTs and stuff like that, I think that is a good sign. And so I personally want to own at least I have a 5-figure position in Ethereum by the end of 2022. So those are my goals as far as crypto goes. But yeah, I just want to set the record straight on kind of my feelings around crypto and how much I've invested. Obviously, I'm going to be always way less invested in crypto than stocks. I think everybody knows that. Stocks is kind of my specialty, and that's what I understand on a much higher level, and I can see companies that are cash flowing and expanding and doing this and doing that. Crypto is definitely not my specialty, so I'm going to always be way underweight crypto compared to real estate, and then massively underweight compared to stocks at the end of the day. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this as always. Much love. Don't forget to check out the pinned comment down there, FTX. Much love, and have a great day.